Now that the Federal Reserve has hiked rates again, we need to save more and pay off our debt accordingly. The Fed has hiked rates for the 7th time this year in response to high inflation. The Federal Reserve recently announced its 7th consecutive hike in the federal funds rate and announced its intention to continue raising interest rates in the future. The Federal Reserve, Fed, has hiked interest rates repeatedly this year to stem rampant inflation, which has reached a 40-year high. However, there are signs that inflation is slowly declining. Rising interest rates help keep prices down, but they also increase borrowing costs and can make everyday financial products like mortgages, personal loans, and credit cards more expensive. The current economic outlook and interest rate environment make it increasingly attractive to save money and pay off high-interest debt. Choose what to do with your money after the Fed hikes rates. Why the Fed's decision to hike rates means it's time to save and pay off debt. It is impossible to predict the future interest rate environment with complete certainty, as a complex mix of factors affect the economy and interest rates generally. But so far there are no signs that interest rates will go down anytime soon, and the Fed says he will continue to raise rates in 2023. And it's always a good idea to focus on fundamentals that build a solid financial foundation, even if the economic outlook changes suddenly. That's why now is a good time to rethink your approach to saving and take a closer look at debt, especially floating rate debt. Savings accounts pay better. At the height of the pandemic, the interest earned on money and savings accounts was near zero. Even high-yielding savings accounts often had APYs of less than 1%. But in a world of high interest rates, savings accounts can yield much greater returns. Today, the best high-yield savings accounts offer interest rates above 4% with no monthly fees. At the time of writing, his APR on the UFB Best Savings account is 4.11% with no minimum balance or monthly fees. Also, this is not the only account that offers high returns. Goldman Sachs Marcus and Lending Club High Yield Savings account also has his APY of over 3%. Borrowing costs are rising. While depositors have reason to rejoice in times of high interest rates, borrowers may feel the financial pain of rising costs. And if you have debt tied to a floating rate, you'll end up paying more for the money you've already borrowed. One of the best ways to save money when interest rates are high is to focus on paying off your debt when interest rates are high first. The annual percentage rate, APR, on many cards can easily exceed 20%. That's more than double his rate of inflation today, and far more than you'd get from a savings account. An emergency fund is an important safety net. Building an emergency fund is a wise decision regardless of the health of the economy. Even if the general economy is doing well, your personal situation can deteriorate. There is some debate about how much you should save for an emergency fund, but it is recommended that you have enough money to cover your living expenses for 3 to 6 months. You can also earn interest and put your money to work by keeping emergency funds in a high-yield savings account. With inflation, savings rates and debt interest rates soaring, you may need to balance building savings with paying down debt. Conclusion. The Federal Reserve continues to raise interest rates. This means that interest rates on mortgages, personal loans, credit cards and savings accounts will likely continue to rise. Despite signs that the pace of rate hikes is slowing, the Fed has not signaled that it will stop raising rates anytime soon. Higher interest rates make savings more attractive and paying off debt becomes even more important.